Who picks this music? All right. What's up, you Relentless Warriors? Welcome back to Relentless Fit 365 live in Studio 5. Once again, feels like it's been forever. Let me fix my chair. There we go. Now I'm comfy. It does feel like it's been forever, but it's great to see you guys. I know this week has probably been strange for you. It's certainly been strange for me. So we're going to chat, talk about it, and make the best of it, and hope things are going well. If you have any questions, now's the time to ask. And I'm just going to do a quick rundown. You guys jumped in right away. I have a lot to talk about in regards to the website and what you guys did. That's been pretty impressive. Kate, first one in the house, followed by her mom. Good to see you, Danielle. Thanks for joining in. Chris, good morning to you. Ninja Nina is in the house along with her sister Emelita. Good to see you two, the dynamic duo. Teresa, thanks for stopping in. I know a lot of you, it's going to be busy today, so I know this is a weird time to do this, but it was the only time I could do it, so I figured I'd at least take advantage and come in and give you at least a little bit of live chat here on Sunday. Mike is here. Thanks for joining in, Mike. You're a warrior. You've been crushing it. There's Tenacious Jesse joining in the party. Jesse, you are the party. You're the life of the party, although all of you guys are kind of like the life of the party. That's what makes this so fun. If I skip somebody, I apologize. I was always told that when you're on camera, you should never actually drink coffee or tea or anything like that. And usually they drink, I think, hot water or something. I don't do that. It's coffee today. I'm drinking coffee. So when you guys are talking about coffee and stuff, let's drink coffee. All right, first of all, if you have any questions, I will try to run through them. But first, I want to talk about the website. You know, I haven't had a tremendous amount of time to go on the website. I always look at it daily to just make sure it's up and running and doing well. One of the things I haven't been paying attention to until probably midweek is the comments below the video embedded within the website. And I realized when I found it that you guys are doing fantastic at basically keeping touch with each other on motivating one another. There's comments below, more comments on the website now than Facebook, which actually, from a business standpoint on my end, is actually amazing. But I always felt like Facebook does a better job until I realized you can share like the emojis and the GIFs or GIFs, however you want to say it. GIF is a peanut butter, but you can say GIF if you want. GIFs and back and forth and motivating people to be in better shape. And that's great to see that. Look, I know that the transition for, I'm just going to adjust something real quick. I know that the transition for live video and then going away from live video is a rough one. I want to make it clear as much as I can that while the videos aren't live in the workout portion, the community is still up and running and alive. And you guys, I'm not sure who initiated that, but you guys took control of that and started motivating each other to continue to do workouts. And I appreciate that. Lion Cub has done a fantastic job in working on the categories. So if you want to check that out, those are getting better. The only thing that's still sparse is the core stuff, but I'll work on that later on today if I get a chance and build up on some other things. Okay, someone's talking about Diet Coke. Very quick question, is Poet done on Sundays too? I don't remember hearing either way. It was up in the air, that's why we didn't really confirm it. Yeah, currently Scott's going to be taking a break from videos as well. If he does it, we'll probably do it back on the Facebook page again. There's a lot of reasons why YouTube algorithm is crazy, especially when it comes to live video. It just doesn't really favor live video. People aren't getting prompted right away, and unless you know that the video is there, it'll just go into like this dormant spot, and people don't see it anymore. So for the time being, and granted, Scott has done numerous videos at this point, I think for almost a year, nonstop, and you know, it's at that point where it was my suggestion that basically he takes a break for a while, and he certainly needs it. You know, he's been working day and night. He does a lot of lifting already in his job, so I'm not making excuses for him because he would certainly be doing it regardless. He's done workout videos. I know this for a fact through pain and through illness. Still pushing those videos, but for the time being, that's going to be on a break. If there are going to be workout videos when he wants to do Pilates or he wants to do Poga, he'll probably let me know, and I'll just give you guys a quick shout out to remind you it'll be there. But it'll most likely be on the Facebook page. This also opens a door. I want you guys to keep in mind if you wanted to do workout videos. You're always more than welcome to do it on the platform, on the community page. I never had a problem with that. So people who want to get involved in that, it's a good time. You know, I've tried to convince some people to do some of their own videos. I've never minded that. I always thought that was cool. I think it's good for the community, even if it's a chat video, because it opens up discussion. And if it opens up discussion involving fitness, that's a good thing. The only rule I have is no politics. You know, because that doesn't do much for fitness. And people in politics are fat and out of shape anyway. They could probably, it would be good for them to walk away and actually do some fitness from time to time. In general, not overall. I know there's good politicians out there. I just don't know of them, but I'm sure there are. All right, I'll move on from that. Let's move away from politics. All right, let's see. Oh boy, all right, so the comments, I will try to take them at, you know, in order as much as I can. If you have a question, like usual, leave a question mark so I can see it. I'd be happy. Those I'll handle first, but for the most part, I'll read the comments that. Tenacious J was just being tenacious on Monday. Started the week with great support. I appreciate that, and it says a lot about her. It says a lot about you guys joining in. And I've seen that from many of you, but yeah, that means a lot. It really does. That fire, I think, was like this snowball of effects that got everybody else involved, and it motivated me to see that. I'm not sure what's happening with website, but I wanted to join in just to continue to show my support where I can. Ninja has been working and keeping me updated. Do you think we'll be able to see your lovely face in live chat like this once a month or something? I would like to try to do it more often. It's going to be hard to say, though. Once a month would be the bare minimum, personally. I'd like to do it more than that. I don't know how often I'll be able to be in the studio to do it, but if I could be home every weekend, I would be elated. It doesn't look that way, though, to be honest. I'm still going through certain training and learning some things about the technique of what their protocol is. I'll go into detail on that if you want me to later on, you know, as we talk today. But for the time being, I want to talk about all Relentless stuff. And if you want to learn about all that, at the end, I'll share what's going on. But yes, I do plan on doing these, Emilita. And you know, sometimes they'll be private within the website. Sometimes they'll be private within the community. And if it's public on YouTube, it will be a video that's, you know, most likely different. Now, there are still some workout videos that are scheduled to be posted, and I'm going to leave that for the time being. I just haven't had the hours in the day to focus on the YouTube channel right now. So the YouTube channel will continue as it is. Somebody sent me an email like, when's it going to turn into Relentless Muscle? I think people thought I was going to do bodybuilding workouts. There won't be any workouts on YouTube in the future. It will be mostly subject material involving fitness. It won't be live videos either. If I go live, it will often be just for the community, whether it be you guys, the website, the community in general. Obviously, it's through website, but it's through an unlisted platform. I just don't like what YouTube has, or how YouTube has treated their live videos in a public format. So as a result of that, I've decided against that in the public format for the most part. I might make exceptions. You just never know. I see some peppers. Peppery Paprika in the house. Good to see you, and good morning to you too. Her son drew me this. It's a shark. And be a shark, attack the day. Be a shark. And there's no better way to be a shark than some nice, smooth, dark roast black coffee, Costa Rican style. And it is Costa Rican style. It's my favorite. It's actually not dark roast either. It's medium roast. Medium roast has a better flavor, in my opinion. I like strong coffee, though. I like smooth coffee more than strong coffee. I love your post. This is coming from Emelita. You help inspire me with all you have going on and still working out. Helps me on the days when I don't want to. Yeah, I completely agree, Emelita. I love her post too. She throws the entire format down there. So if you wondered what she did, she puts it out there for you, and that says a lot about posts in general, about all of you putting your workouts out there. I think that does say something. There's a lot of communities that post their workouts and say, "Hey, I just did this." I get it. What makes it different is that when you guys post your workouts, I see tons of comments supporting and motivating, and someone's not feeling great this week, and man, this just isn't my week. And then there's like 10 other comments, trying to get that person up. And I know that if one person's down, that following week when they're up, they bring somebody else back up too. And I love that. I'll try not to continue to like gush over it, but towards the end of the week, things were opening up with time, and I was able to see more of it. It was just fantastic. When I'm away from this, and to be away from this for a week, I felt naked in a bad way. Sometimes it could be good. Not this week. It was weird. Things are fine. It's just in general, even when I took that week break of not posting video, I was actually still, involved, even though I told myself I wasn't supposed to be. I was ultimately just walking away from social media overall. To be away from this and not be involved in the community, that's weird for me. Especially knowing that it's changing, in the dynamics of how it's being done. So trust me, it's hard on my end because this is probably all I knew for a while. Like, this is how things were done. So I expected the frustrations. I expected people saying, "Oh, this is terrible." But I will say that everybody continued to do the workouts and support each other, and that to me was a huge success in that end. When do you think you will be able to talk about your new adventure? Not being nosy, just excited for you. Oh, so I think you've been on the entire time, Chris. So at the end, I will talk about it. I'm happy to. There are things I'm still not allowed to say, just because it's some of it's medical, so I can't go into like detail about specifics. But as far as like the job in general, I can't wait to talk about it, and I will later today. When I say later, like in the next 10, 15 minutes. When Paprika makes it, it's a good morning with her crazy mornings that she has. Let's see. I think I skipped a lot of comments. Strong coffee, I'm back. Yeah, Levi's mug is here. So I apologize. I'm sure you've talked about this before. Are you still working on programs in the website for members, or is it on hold as well, just workouts being posted? It's sort of on hold, but not because I want to put it on hold. It was on hold this week because it was a very stressful week. In a good way, I suppose. But there was absolutely no time to work on it. My day... I'm still working out early in the morning, which, by the way, is very weird not doing a video at 6:30. And when I'm working out, I'm thinking I should be doing a video right now. But the time just doesn't allow it. So the day usually starts at 8 o'clock, and I'm usually there till around 6 to 7, sometimes later. Now, I have been coming back to the studio to train clients, but it's... that's pretty much the extent of it right now. By the time the day is done, it could be 9:30, 10 o'clock at night, and it's time to kind of do it all over again. So, but the goal is to get back into the programs. The first one will be, there's actually two that are on my mind when you brought that up. The first one is is the Relentless Silver Part 2. You know, we put a break on that. I was doing them live, and I'd like to go back to at least starting to shoot them to finish that one up. After that one, and I can actually do them at the same time, is the Relentless Elite Part 2. I saw some people have been doing the Relentless Elite again. Someone I think Denny just started it, and a little shout out to him. That's awesome. If I missed you and you're doing it again, let me know. I'd love to know if you're doing it again or if you're doing it for the first time. I think you'll be surprised on how it pushes you, and I think Relentless Elite will be a nice balance. I started the first couple of weeks, and then, of course, I put it on the back burner. But it will be coming back. Yes, there will be more programs. Yeah. Silver, Iron Body, etc. Yes. Avia, I just saw you jump in. Sorry I missed you. Thanks for being here. Thank you, Emilita. Nobody wants to lose that in the community in general. I don't want to lose it either. Everyone's doing what they can to stay in touch, it seems. And there will definitely be some sort of check-in at some point as soon as I can, every time I can. Like I said, I can't promise I'll always be in the studio, but I don't think you guys care about that. Zero motivation for me this past week, and I mean zero. Next week is going to be better for me, I am sure. And I appreciate you sharing that, Kate. That's rough when you face those moments, and then to basically to admit it to the community. And I think by admitting it, you're motivating others too, because it's like, hey, you realize it, you're dissecting it, and then hopefully going back and saying, and like you just said, next week's going to be a different week. And I appreciate you saying that. I know a lot of people relied on the live workouts as a way of staying structured, and I get it. I'm a guy of structure. You know, you put me in a rhythm, and I can do that same rhythm for years. Give me something, and I will do thousands of reps without thinking about it. You take that structure away, and it's rough for me. So when you tell me that, I can't say I feel your pain. All I can say is on my end, I understand how I felt. Just not doing the live videos and shooting them from my end. So thank you for wanting to come back and crush it next week, though, Kate. It means a lot. Nina's doing elite again. Surprise, surprise, eye roll. I love it. You mentioned maybe doing vlogs again. I love them. Yes, I do plan on hitting vlogs once I get into a better format. Right now, as I'm training, I kind of shadow doctors, so it's hard to. When I go into detail, you understand what I'm saying. But right now, it's kind of that. What's going to be different is in the future, I'll be training other doctors on what's being done here in this neural therapy and recovery stuff that I'm working on. So when that happens, my schedule will be a little bit different. Even if I'm traveling somewhere, I'll still have access to being able to do vlogs and edit. And I'm going to take my laptop and take some cameras. I do plan on doing that again. I want to bring back. I did have some time before I started the other day to watch some of my old fitness life vlogs, and I think I might go back to that style or similar to that style. The difference is it's going to stretch to a different flavor just because my life's a little bit different. But yes, I do plan on doing vlogs. That'll be on YouTube. That'll be free. Kate, what was the... I don't want to talk about... I'm not even going to say PMS today. That's weird for me. I'm doing round 2 of Elite. First time was July of last year. Going to see if I can beat myself this time. Of course you can. And of course you will. I can't wait to hear the results, though. Elite 2, that's exciting. Yes, I know I've talked about Elite 2 for probably 6 months now. Eventually we'll get to it. I promise. The Relentless Raw, I had to pull that back. The way that format goes, there's absolutely no way I can maintain the Relentless Raw. And of course, live video, doing the algorithm and doing the search of the algorithm Live video just doesn't do great on the channel. The channel itself, the algorithm is not being friendly to YouTube. And when I'm going public, if I don't see the views, I'm going to stop that particular style of video. Unless I find it particularly beneficial to the community. I think vlogging is somewhat beneficial to the community because it's still kind of a touch. And even though it's not always live, there are cases where I can have a video ready and we can do what's called a premiere. And I can post it where we'll have live feed while people watch it at a certain time. It's sort of like a sneak peek in a movie. So I'm going to play around with that probably too. Aviana, good to see you. I definitely miss you guys. It does, and I know you're still crushing your workouts, Aviana, because Avia is like the powerhouse pusher and you're the powerhouse part 2 that's going to climb up and be like her mom. So I can't wait to see where that goes. But yeah, it's been a week, but it feels like a month already. Strange about that. It does feel like I struggled putting the video, like getting the equipment together to go live. When you do it day after day after day, it's just rhythmic. Maybe that's a better way to. Maybe I should have another sip of coffee. Yeah, rhythmic. Yeah, thank you. You know what I meant. Yesterday I ate fast food and told Ninja not to tell you guys. It's funny how I still feel so connected when I haven't been. And she's coming clean. Thank you for letting us know, Emilita. And you know my philosophy on that. Every now and then you need something, you need one of your feel-good meals. And that's okay. I know how dedicated you guys have been. I have actually been working more consciously this pregnancy on eating better and working out, and I know a lot of that is coming from what I gained and mentally and physically from this group, and I love you guys. That's awesome. I hear that a lot, and the community in general. I don't know. It's really hard to find people like that. I think the community energy has morphed others into being better. I know that some people have told me that. Like, I came into the community not really wanting to be vocal, and now I'm one of the most outspoken ones. I've heard that one. I've quoted it. I'm not going to tell you who it is, but somebody told me that once. And that meant a lot because it helped. What it did is it helped them get out of their shell. And when you get out of your shell and you start to embrace something, you become a part of it, and so you start to enjoy it. And fitness is one of those things where it goes a lot deeper than just I don't have enough time, I don't like doing this, or I don't like sweating, or all the excuses that just tend to pile up. What it really comes down to is people aren't having any fun. And I know that seems like a really catty reason to not work out, because working out in general, it's work, and it requires some sort of like focus and drive, ambition, perhaps a little love of pain. But the fun aspect is the community getting together and probably talking about the pain and coming together and enjoying it in some way, because it's like, man, how did you feel when you went through that? Oh yeah, that sucked. And suddenly, that morale starts to build, even though it's a kind of like through a beatdown. But it still is one of those things when you go through adversity, with the community, when you go through bad times with the community and you come out surviving, you're very surprised on the type of relationships you build with people that perhaps you wouldn't have associated with outside of that particular community. So I do think that there's a lot to be said about what you guys have done. And going through that particular pain, you might have hated fitness, but if you love a fitness community, I would suggest getting in better shape and reaching your fitness goals. You have a better chance of doing that. You are also training doctors, so they're doing your workouts. Not exactly. So let me just go into detail about what it is I'm doing. And, I sort of talked about it perhaps a month ago. I was being interviewed for a job called ARPWave. ARPWave to me sounded like snake oil. They reached out to me and they actually saw some of my videos, and I ended up going in for an interview. They said, let's just check. Why don't you just check it out? ARPWave is a medical device. It's actually, you can look it up, arpwaveusa.com. It's FDA approved, and you basically need a prescription to use it. It's what it is it's a machine. You go into a doctor's office, a chiropractor's office. Eventually, it will be in physical therapy places, probably all over the nation. Hopefully, in the future, in the world. It's newer in the sense of how the structure is, but the ARPWave machine has been around for about 20 years now. Now, when people first see it, the first thing they think of is just like electrodes going through your body, and it does do that. It stimulates muscle. It increases blood flow, and there's something called a TENS unit that has been doing that for years. So that's the first thing I thought it was, and it's like, okay, I've had one of those on my ankle when I broke it when I was in wrestling, and so I kind of knew what it was, or I thought I did. He put me through this session where what it does is let's just say, for instance, you have pain in a particular muscle group. Let's say lower back. What happens was he takes his pad, he basically puts he puts a patch on an opposite end of the body, just as kind of like a base. And then he takes this sponge with another wire on it, and he goes right onto the pain point, and he searches. The reason for that search, and I'm going to try to say it without being too confusing, and then I'll go into detail of like what this machine can actually do and what it can heal and how it can build and things like that. But what it does is a lot of times when people are injured, the first reaction for whether it's physical therapy, whether it's chiropractors, even personal trainers, if they're into corrective training, they go after the injury and they attack where the injury has happened. But a lot of times, and anybody who's been in this business or this industry for a long enough period of time, you realize wherever that injury is at is not really where it's at or where it started. So what this machine does is it actually searches through, and it's able to find where it's called cellular disruption or hot spots. And you feel a sensation when that sponge goes over those real thick hot spots. Trust me, because I felt them. And believe it or not, I had cellular disruption in my body. So when you find that cellular disruption or those hot spots, that's where you end up targeting. Let's just say it was left lower back, which in this particular case, that's what I targeted it. The injury wasn't there. The injury was in my left hamstring, and that's where a lot of that tightness was actually building. And what was happening was my muscles or my brain wasn't sending the signal to my muscles to fire up. So instead of it firing up, it wasn't able to absorb force, and other muscles and other parts of my body started to develop what's called compensatory patterns, which means you're starting to compensate to basically handle the balance or handle the load where that particular spot is not actually working for you. So what does all this do? You put these patches on once you find where the injury's at. You go through movements while current is literally going through your body. It is insane. I can't explain it. I am not a guy who buys into certain crazy stuff. I don't think this is actually crazy. I literally within 20-minute session, whatever pain I had in my back, and it wasn't a lot, mind you, but it was still there. It was gone. And I've probably shadowed 40 or 50 patients this week, and I've seen people come in with pain levels of like 8, 7s, 6s, and they leave with 2s, 3s, and even 0s. And of course, the pain comes back a little bit, but what's happening is the brain and the ARPWave machine is actually working together in this neural therapy, where the current is actually working with your nervous system to retrain the brain on actually working the muscles the way they're supposed to be working and refiring those hot spots or where those damaged cells are at. And think of it this way. It's like you're unraveling something and you're re-raveling it the right way. For instance, a very common one is people squat improperly. So a lot of the movements that I personally had the patients going through when I finally started working with some of the patients was I saw their knees diving in. So session 1, it was really hard for them to keep that good angle. And every trainer knows, Sam, you know this, the right angle is making sure their butt is down. You're not using too much back. You're using more glutes, more hamstrings, not leaning forward. And by sessions 2, 3, 4 throughout the week, because a lot of them were coming in daily, their squats were starting to get better because while that current's going through, your brain is starting to retrain itself to say, oh, the muscle needs to be over here. And so essentially, I'm learning this machine. The doctor's office that actually has the rights to it, and it's the only doctor's office in the country that has the rights to this, is right here in Chicago, and I'm going to be the only traveling trainer right now. So when the thing starts to hit, and it's next month, make a long story short, it's a crash course to learn this stuff, and it's a struggle. I think I gave you the easy version, and I'm struggling just with the easy version of how this is working. But I will say I'm thoroughly enjoying it. It's like a combination of training and therapy. So it's wonderful. I see people coming in, you could tell they just completely messed up. They're hunched over, they're feeling terrible, and they leave just like, oh man, no pain today. And they can't wait to come back for another one. And there's a side of it where it's like, that's fitness. That's what I used to love and still love about fitness. So it's great to still have that. On the flip side, and this is the side I shudder to kind of talk about, because then people are like, I don't know. But on the flip side, I will say this. Because I'm going to be a trainer, I have a traveling version of this, which is the same thing. The only difference is I take it with me. I've been working out with it. So you can use this machine to work out with, and let me explain that a little bit. And I know comments are coming in. I'll handle them as soon as I can. But so your body works at basically 2 contractions per second. That's what your brain to your muscle is, 2 contractions per second. A TENS unit, which is one of those lower stimulation where it increases blood flow, it's about 10 beats per second. The ARP wave does it at 500 beats per second, which is 200. Basically, as you look at your body compared to this machine, it's working 250 times faster and more efficient than your body itself. So when you put that on your body and you go into movements, you're recruiting so many different muscle fibers. You have to go through it for it to make sense to you in general. You have to let it wait for a few days. I'm seldom sore, and this whole week, every part of my body is sore from working it. I've gotten really good at it because I love it so much that I've cranked it up. It goes at certain power levels, and I crank it all the way to the top now, and it's insane. So you can use it for not just recovery. It's also a great tool to get into basically better shape, better performance. Like I said, and I don't know if I said this, this machine has been used by predominantly pro athletes. Now it's just recently going to the public, and that's where I come in the training part. So I will be training mostly, whether it's a strength and conditioning coach for specific teams. Sometimes it's going to be other physical therapists that want to use the device, or chiropractors that are buying into it as well. And when I say buying into it, it seems like they're buying into snake oil. I don't see it that way, and I know it's easy to be skeptical because I have personally made fun of those machines where these little discs go all over your body and it's like you get ripped from it. It's different than that because I've tried those machines too. I can literally compare the two and tell you that one is snake oil and doesn't work. The other one, this one actually is a medical device. It's the only one that's FDA approved in regards to basically the neuroscience that goes behind it, meaning that all the current that you're going through in your nervous system, there's no other machine that has FDA approval because this is the only one that actually works, especially at the levels that it does, which is one of the reasons why it performs so well. I'm starting to sound like a salesperson, and I'm not. It's only because I love the machine so much. All right, I'll start taking comments. All right, I'm going all the way down to the bottom. Kate's got to take off. Kate, I think I saw that. Kate, take care. Danielle, thanks for joining in as well. Hope you guys have a good afternoon, and hopefully I'll see you guys soon. There should be a machine like this for psychologists. I I don't disagree. There's so many different directions that this thing can correct. If you have plantar fasciitis, it actually corrects that because it pulls out all the inflammation from the bottom, and you can literally run the current going opposite and actually relieves pain from that. If you have rheumatoid arthritis, which my sister does, and I can't wait to put her on the machine when I have a chance to go to Kentucky, it actually helps with rheumatoid arthritis. I'm not saying this thing's a miracle worker, it's not, but it will make people feel better. If you have back pain, that's one of the more common ones, back pain, shoulder pain. If you have shin splints from running, these are things we see a lot of. There's a lot of athletes, and actually there's quite a few pro athletes that go to this particular facility to get corrected. It works for them, and they know what the recovery is. They go back and they perform, at their high levels that they're used to performing, and they do it in a short period of time. Corrective training is always good. Physical therapy is good. This is just like physical therapy on steroids, without the steroids. Off to breakfast with Robbie and visiting my mom, Danielle. Good, guys, you guys enjoy breakfast. That sounds really good right now, even though I've already had breakfast. 500, oh my gosh, is it painful when it hits the weak spots? I'm not going to lie, yes. I don't say pain to the patient. I just say you're going to feel intense sensation. It's sensational. Jokes aren't going over really well with the patients. No, everybody has been very good, actually. The doctors are really down to earth. They're great with training, and the patients have a great sense of humor. So do the doctors, by the way. They like pain. The doctors like putting people through pain too. It's a good fit. I belong there. I feel like I missed comments. I'm not doing that on purpose. I'm curious. Oh, I missed this one too, Emily. This is interesting. I'm curious as to how you're involved in it. So you're helping them with the movements they're doing. Yeah. So I'll be the trainer for basically ARP Wave USA. And when you hear trainer, it's me training who's taking the machine and working within their facility. So I teach them how to actually use it. I teach them how to train, whether it's their athletes or whether it's their clients or whether it's their patients. And there's a lot to it. So you can't it's not just step one, step two, turn it on, fire it up. It's not one of those. So, that's where I end up coming in and showing them how to do that. And in some cases, not, like the chiropractors, they're not necessarily going to know the certain moves to do, and that's where I think perhaps my personal training has been helpful to me in this part. It's been really cool to be able to bring some of the fitness stuff to it, because there were certain things where like, oh yeah, that's a good idea. Let's try that. And when you think one way and somebody else brings another avenue, I think that's how you learn, and that's certainly how I've learned the last week. My brain is about to explode. I could have slept for 12 hours today. I didn't, but I could have. I seldom feel like that. Baby number 3 coming for Emilita, by the way, and that's soon. We can't wait for that. That will be fun. Sometimes we feel intense sensations after a workout. That's a good one, Susanna. Yes, I can agree with you on that as well. I still do. One thing, that I'm learning on, and certainly blood flow is what usually helps injuries. So if you have an injured spot, and that's where I was a big firm believer of foam rolling. Foam rolling is compression. It's basically just moving around blood flow. And the quicker you get blood flow into an injured spot, the faster you're able to heal. Well, based on how powerful this machine is, you're charging blood flow through there, but it hits your body in two different directions because there's blood flow and there's contractions. So when you're getting blood flow into that injured area, plus you're strengthening the muscle, you're actually building around that injury. That's one of the reasons I believe it's working so fast. And I think that's also another reason, actually, I know it's the other reason why athletes have used it so often, simply because, the performance level, to perform at such levels, and for how often they have to perform at those levels, they needed something that they can turn around quickly and get right back on the field or back on the court or back on the skating rink. There's a lot of hockey players that are involved in this particular area. So, and that's when I say that, like, as far as detail, I can't actually talk about who goes there because it is a medical device. So there's specific laws where we cannot talk about the people that are actually using the ARP wave. But I can say there are pro athletes that are using it that go into their office to be treated, and that part's really cool. That's been fun. I always feel more exhausted after being mentally and emotionally drained. Physically, I could go forever. Yeah, the mental breakdown is crazy. The hardest part of going through this process is it's called the searching. The searching part is where you're finding those pain points and the sensations, we call them, those hot spots. The first time you feel it, it's crazy. And when I was going through the interview, it was the strangest interview I've ever went through because they didn't really ask me any questions. And when I went there, I didn't really know that they watched some of my videos, so they knew a little bit about me before I even went in, and I had no idea. So there weren't a lot of questions. They were basically telling me about what was going to go on, what the position was, and then they said, "You want to try the machine out?" And I was like, well, I mean, sure, thinking I'll be back next week and I'll try it out. And one of the doctors is like, yeah, you really have to feel it, and you have to know what it's like to be a part of it and appreciate what it actually does. Well, sure enough, 5 minutes later, they have this thing strapped up to me, and I'm like, okay, is this some sort of science experiment? It's not a real position or anything. They're just trying some sort of like guinea pig to. I even said that, and they started laughing because when I felt the sensations going through my body, I was like, oh, I feel that. I almost missed the chat because it's still 5-hour difference instead of 6. End of the month, we need to change the time again. Oh man, yeah, time changes and all that other good stuff. Yeah, the chat at 6:30, I know it was last minute. I'll try to be better as far as like going, giving you guys an earlier advance notice on when the chats are going to come up. I honestly cannot commit right now to a specific day, but when I can, I'll try to narrow that down every time. But the goal is kind of like Emelita's question. The goal is to at least do once a month. But like I said, that would be the bare minimum. I'd love to check up on you guys and see how it's going. The big thing that I pulled out of this week is what the community has done on the platform. And if you're not sure what I'm talking about, and again, I know this, I've opened this to everybody, but when I'm talking about the community, it's basically going onto the website. Underneath the videos, there's a chat. It links to your Facebook page. It's really easy to join on, and it runs kind of like Facebook. It's gotten a little bit better, and I noticed that this time. And you guys have been great with each other. I'm going to try to get better when training is over to get more involved on those chats. Even if I can't go on video, I still want to get involved in that. This week, like I said, it's just been, and when I'm not in their office training, I'm either in bed crashing or I'm studying. So I feel like a kid again. Great chatting with you too, Avia. Jake, keep up the great work. Catch you guys later. Off to my day going because Jake has devised a new way to torture me today. Yay! All right, he's ready to go. I believe this one's the total body one, Avia. You're going to crush it. It's not. Or wait, is it? No, I think it's the daily challenge one. I'll have to look. It might be the challenge one. That one's good. You'll crush it. That's how you know it's a good product, when they want you to know how it works and you're not just selling some random thing. Yeah, I agree. I'm actually not on the sales side. their sales team is, but I definitely agree with you, and I feel like I could sell this thing, and I'm not a great salesperson. But the sales team has been out for the last, I think, 6 months. There's some salespeople in Florida. There's some in Texas. There's a few in California, and most of the team is here in Chicago handling the rest of it. Right now, they're tentatively setting up these machines in 22 different states. So now they're not taking action until April. So right now there's still a little bit of time, but once it takes action, that's where, of course, training is going to have to be involved. The salespeople know a little bit about the machine, but the salespeople only show them how it works, and then when they decide to actually put it into their whether it's their doctor's office or their physical therapy studio, or again, there's professional teams that are looking into this. That's where I come in and I train them. Looking forward to that part. Going to be stressful though, considering there's no one to fall back on right now. Today I have yesterday's workouts pending. I'm doing workouts in the evenings lately. Hey, but you're doing them, and evening workouts to me are tough, but at least you're getting them done, and that's the important thing. Aviana, great to see you too. You keep up the good work. She's going back to bed now. I don't blame you. You could sell me a spider, Jake. Hey, everybody misses muffin. I wanted to get a new muffin, but I just haven't had time to find the right one. Kids are up. Time to get mommy pants on and get ready for church. I love you all. Thanks for making this public today, Jake. It's been thanks for joining in. It's been fun. God bless and prayers for your journey. I appreciate that. Just to confirm, Lion Cub and Rich are still working backstage at Relentless Fit 365. So actually, Rich is going to be moving. Feel free if you want to talk to him. Things are kind of like everything's going to be more on a mobile aspect. So I'm trying to take control of more of the website stuff, but they support when they can. We'll be getting my kiddos ready for church soon too. Oh, only Squishy is awake. What is it with the kids like that are always the first ones up? Carrie's in the house. Carrie, thanks for joining in. It's good to see you. Just wanted to say hi, AQ and Kate are the reason I worked out yesterday and the day before, and that's after 2-week break. This team is amazing, Jake, even when you're not here. That part I absolutely agree with you. The community is the strength. It's the backbone. It's the pulse. It's the blood flow, so to speak, of everything Relentless is. And, I was so nervous 2 years ago to make everything live video. I was like, I don't know if this is the direction we should go. But we did it out of desperation. You guys know this. Most of you know the story. And then it just basically spread out for couple of years almost. It seems like every time there's a new direction, it turns out to be a new step. The community certainly wasn't strong enough to do this last year, and it never would have been an option. But you guys have really banded together like brothers and sisters of fitness, warriors that you are, and I love seeing that. And that is truly the blood flow of Relentless. And I'm not just saying that to gush over you guys. It's definitely true. De nada, Susana, and muchas gracias to you too. I roll my R's too much. That's what Lion Cub says. Muchas gracias. I still roll my R's. I love rolling the R's, Susana. I'm sorry. It's like I've terrible dialect. Or not dialect. A terrible accent. At least Squishy works out with me and doesn't ask for stuff. That's true. If you could get somebody to work out with you, that's absolutely awesome. Not to downplay your presence, Jake, you created this. No, you're not downplaying anything. I absolutely, that's the first thing I thought of when I didn't even, I was aware of the comment section below the videos, but you can thank Jesse and the rest of you guys for just jumping on board. I didn't even mention that. That was the community taking initiative. And I'll do my best to try to work around that and make it better for you guys. So when I find new things where the community can continue to connect, I'm going to take advantage of that. But yeah, I appreciate it. You know, I was a part creator of this, but anybody can create something. It's whatever grows out and spawns into whatever it becomes. That's what's important. So, and I'm sorry, I don't mean to like, I'm not trying to dodge your compliment. I appreciate it. But I also know how special this community is too, though. And that could be pointed back to everybody that's on this platform now on Sunday at whatever crazy time it is over in your world. And you're still here. You're chatting with each other. You're having conversations with yourself that I have no idea what's going on. It's probably something that happened like in the week. But I love seeing it because it just means that there's been a bond that's been formed. And fitness was sort of like, you know, it's connector. And that's a great thing. As far as I'm concerned, that's a win. Ours don't need to have muscles. Thank you, Susanna. Don't roll the R's. Too much muscles on the R's. Chris, are you able to give us a link to learn more about this? Yes. So, Chris, if you want to check out ARP USA, let me just write it down. I'll put it in the chat section right now. ARPWaveUSA.com. You're not going to be able to click on that link from the chat section, but you'll be able to at least copy it and paste it. ARPWaveUSA.com. It's called just the ARPWave. It's one of a kind. There has been a knockout recently, but there's a lawsuit going against that knockout or knockoff, and so they're going to basically cease and desist in perhaps the next couple of weeks. Chris, by the way, it's great to see you. I appreciate you joining in. And again, I know Sunday's such an inconvenient time for everybody, and you're still here. Jake, you pulled us together. You're always motivating and pushing us, and now we push each other. That's what I love to see. But you are still the heart of this. I'm enjoying this chat right now. Missed it. Yeah, likewise. I definitely have missed doing this. I was really excited. I wanted to do this yesterday, but I felt like that was reckless. Even though I had time, I was like, I don't know. Saturdays, the last minute thing, it probably wouldn't have worked. So yeah, I was really looking forward to this. I was so proud and actually inspired to see Kate admit that she took a break, and I was so ashamed until I read that, and then AQ giving me a push, all just so perfect. Yeah, let me talk about AQ and Kate for a moment. And Carrie, I appreciate you saying that. Fit Mama Bear. First of all, let me talk about Carrie, because you look at somebody like Carrie and you wouldn't think she struggles mentally. She certainly doesn't struggle physically. You could tell she's in fantastic shape. I could probably say that about most people in the community, if not all of you guys. But it's sometimes, don't take this the wrong way, Carrie, it's good to see people like Carrie struggle, because it gives other people hope that, like, okay, so Carrie struggles too, it's okay. And so I appreciate Carrie admitting that she goes through that. Paprika will say that occasionally and people don't believe her, but yes, I've seen even Paprika struggle. That being said, it does take tremendous amount of courage to say, I just don't want to do anything today. I don't want to do anything this entire week. My heart broke when I read a comment that Kate wrote, but it was Kate is off the. She's literally, her emotions are there. She's going to tell you like it is. I'm used to that from where I live. People will tell you how they feel. They do not bottle emotions, and I do appreciate that. And she basically just said, I haven't done anything all week. I hate this. I don't know if she said hate. I'm paraphrasing it, but I do know that it was a rough time for her, not being able to join in on the live. It was kind of like her connection to getting moving and getting things done. I understand that the live is different than a post-production workout video. There is a difference to it. And I do not take that lightly. I never took it lightly. I've always gone to bat with live video. Every time I got a suggestion from somebody who wasn't connected, or just a suggestion in general, or it's like, you shouldn't be doing that. That's not, that doesn't make a lot of business savvy sense. I didn't care because I understood what live was. It's the essence of energy. It was. So when I took that away, I got nervous. I'm still nervous about it because to get used to that type of energy, that connection of knowing that there's other people right now going through that pain, and then to take that away, it's like, oh, now I'm going through it by myself again. It's so much harder to do a post-production video when you're struggling already. So it takes a very strong core of community to say, let's keep pushing. And that's where I think the true blood flow of what Relentless is really shined this past week. Now, I'm not suggesting every week's going to be a great week. I looked at the comments through the week, and I'm like, oh, this is unbelievable. Where did this come from? By the way, again, thank you, Jesse, for bringing it up. It was a fantastic suggestion, and right now, that's what we're going to use. It was her idea also to have the live videos going back and forth, which is also a great idea. It just wasn't conducive, I don't think, to how we do things. But I also loved that. I think a lot of other people loved it too. Yeah, and of course. So you had Kate, who was basically bringing this out and saying, "This is how I feel," but she was still there every day. So even though she wasn't having a great week, she still left comments. She still was a part of the community. Thank you for that. I know she's not on the board right now, but still, I appreciate it. And then AQ, as AQ is, with his Pura Vida, and I know I probably said that wrong, but his Costa Rican mindset of like, let's just do this. Always there to give a supporting jolt of energy, and I want to appreciate that. He is truly something else. AQ, you're the man. I know he's not in here right now, but I'm sure he'll watch it, and I can't say enough about the guy. I've struggled a lot, believe me when I say this. Believe me when I say I've heard times when I wanted to just quit. The past few months were the hardest, but knowing that everyone here has gone through something in life, it gained encouragement from this community and kept going. I felt empowered to keep going. Even the ninja, thank you. Even the ninja struggles. Yeah, thank you for sharing it, Ninja Nina. I don't know. I haven't seen her struggle yet, but she says she does, and that's difficult, for anybody to like go through, believe it or not, and still push. I do think it gets easier when you see the results better. When you're not seeing results and you're struggling already, I do feel like it's a lot easier to quit. And when you have a weak community or a weak support system, that's a lot of times when all of that starts to cave in and you forget about yourself for a second or two, or even a week. So long as you don't forget about yourself in general and keep coming back and keep trying to strengthen, even if it's just going in there and just walking the treadmill, you're moving it. Again, that blood flow thing, and I'm learning more about that. I'm not sure what I missed, but I missed your face. Thank you. It's good to chat with everybody again. I got to go quick. Everybody go work out. Keep inspiring me. I agree. I think it's time it's already 7:30. I only plan on being on the platform for about an hour, or for about a half hour. So time has flown by. I probably got too chatty about this new ARPWave thing. But it's been sort of like a roller coaster ride of things being thrown at me. So I'm just kind of like regurgitating it. And, gained encouragement. Let's see. Love you guys. Big part of is your own motivation, but having a like-minded community of warriors to push you is huge, and to not give up. Yeah, it does take a lot of your own self-motivation, but that motivation, even if it's the tiniest, might be the very thing that pushes you to keep going, and it gets better. It really does. Technically, you never plateau. You're either going up or you're going down. I mean, if you feel like you're plateauing, you're probably going down. But if you're pushing and you're moving and you're still getting something done, you're not going down, you're moving, and that's forward motion. And that's really what's important. And if you have forward motion, you'll be able to push others, and that's truly what's important. That's what makes this so great. All right. It's been great. The week is going to be long again. I can't promise I'll be back in the midweek. I will try to be back again next Sunday. I'll do the best I can to communicate through social media, through the website if I can. And looking forward to you guys, crushing it. I want to keep seeing those comments on how you're crushing all those videos, how you're getting into better shape. Don't be afraid to post it and share it and brag about it, because bragging is good. It's not saying, hey, look at me. It's saying, hey, I did this. And you guys have always been gracious about that. You've always been encouraging towards each other about that. And that means a lot. Thanks for chatting, Jake. You're welcome, Paprika, and thanks for joining in. I got to get my day moving as well. I'll keep posting my workouts. Stay in the game, friends. I love it. Love you guys. Thanks for watching. Always remember, eat healthy, train hard. You know the deal. Most especially, have fun. And if you're having fun with your community, you're going to stay in the community and you're going to stay fit. All right. I'll see your beautiful faces soon. I'm out. Bam! See if I can get a little music here going. All right. It's still non-copyrighted jams. Give me a break. Take care, guys.